Hello, hello. Right. Slowly having people join us. This is that very awkward 2 minutes time where we're just kind of waiting for people to join us. Thank you all for joining. All right, bear with us while we're just waiting on a few more people to join us so we can kind of get started together, right? Hello, hello. Yes, the chat, I will
Hi.
say that right off top, everyone who is joining, feel free to flood the chat with questions, with thoughts. I have Marina here with us who will be answering all of those questions along the way. We're also going to have an FAQ towards the end where we're going to be answering a bunch of questions. So please feel free to flood that chat bot. Awesome. I feel pretty good about getting started here today. Ooh, who do we have? New York, amazing. Love to see it. Please also put in the chat bot all of your states. We'd love to see what states are here today, for sure. All right, well, everyone, welcome. Today's webinar is all about exploring a new feature we're excited to share with you all called workflows, which I think will be a groundbreaking feature for many people on this call. Workflows are designed to improve efficiency, reduce manual labor, and help teams reclaim their valuable time by automating actions based on other actions. So really creating those hands-off processes that's going to keep things moving behind the scenes. So imagine a mapping of actions that works for you and saves you time. So that's really what we're working on today. We'll be diving in deep on what that can look like in practice by hearing from Dr. Carpenter, the Community Outreach Manager at Western Reserve Area Aging. And Dr. Carpenter and her team have been using workflows since earlier this year to automate their daily wellness check-ins. Her team supports thousands of older adults and individuals with disabilities across 5 counties in Ohio. And today's session will be opening the floor up for questions about this feature. With that said, let's just jump right in. Dr. Carpenter, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Can you start off by just telling the group a little bit more about your role as a community outreach manager and the communities that you serve?
Absolutely. So my role as community outreach manager really is to increase knowledge, service, and awareness about the resources that we do offer here at Western Reserve Area Agency on Aging. Like you said, we do service 5 counties here in Northeast Ohio. That's Cuyahoga, Geauga, Lorain, Lake, and Medina.
Amazing. And how long have you worked at Western Reserve and how long have you been in the industry?
So I have worked at Western Reserve for 5 years, but I have been in my current position for 2 years. I've been in the industry almost coming up on 10 years.
Oh, 10 years, same as me,
I
10 years.
know.
Here we go. And what age range are your users primarily?
So we service those who are 60 and above and adults with disabilities.
Right. So this makes the most sense for you, honestly, with supporting all 5 counties and offering all these different kinds of programs. What does your day usually look like?
That is a great question. So my like day to day is actually not the same. So my focus is making sure that I'm prepared to be out in the community. So I could be providing information to consumers that can be doing presentations. I can be attending different meetings with community partners. I also teach technology classes, and then we also do informational tables. So my day to day is never the same, and I love it because it doesn't get complacent, it doesn't get boring.
Absolutely. So very, very boots on the ground and lots of changes happening all the time, I imagine.
Yes.
So with that being said, what are some of the core challenges that you and your team face when it comes to staying in touch with your clients on a larger scale, right? So a lot of
Mhm.
clients that you're reaching out to.
Our biggest, I guess, hurdle is time.
Mhm.
So I do have an amazing team that I'm a part of. However, we're a team of 4.
Mm.
So meeting the needs that is out there in the community with a team of four sometimes can be a task.
I'm sure.
And
I'm sure.
so time management is my team's best friend in making sure that we get the needs covered through our counties.
Yeah, absolutely. And remarkable work that you all do with the team of four. So much that you guys offer. But let's talk about the daily check-ins, right? Like those wellness
Mhm.
check-ins. For those watching, what those daily check-ins are mostly oh, well, let's talk about why they're so important to the people that you serve. So why are these check-ins so important? Tell us a little bit about the check-ins.
So the check-ins, the daily wellness check-ins are important because majority of the people who participate in that portion of our telecare program are people who live alone. So having someone that's going to basically check on them and their wellness is important to them. And it's important to us that they know that, there is a person in their community that's going to be looking out for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And can you give us maybe one or two examples of like what those questions could look like or sound like?
Sure. So it basically is asking them. So if it, for the um, calls that they receive, or they can receive a text.
Mhm.
It asks them, how are you doing today? Are you doing well? Are you not doing well? Are you in need? And
Yeah.
so they can either respond or hit one, two, and three, and just depending on what that is, will route it to what's needed. So if they're doing well, usually that's kind of it. If they
Mm,
do have an issue or they're not doing well, or if they miss their check-in, whoever is assigned to that person will receive a call or text their phone, letting them know, hey, you need to go check on Mr. John. He didn't.
mhm.
He responded with three of not doing well today. So that makes us, okay, let me call Mr. John and see what's going on with him.
Yeah, truly, truly impactful. And most people in this call are of the industry, so we all know the impact of isolation that has
Yes.
on older adults. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's one of the most important things that we should be considering right now. With that being said, I want to talk a little bit about the time that you were talking about that with saving by using
Mm-hmm.
these workflows. So, how was wellness check-ins managed before you started using these workflows?
Manually, somebody on the team making the calls.
Hmm.
So, the just kind of do a brief history. So at the, height of COVID, when everybody was isolating in place, you have to think about the fact that we had those who were already homebound. So it really kind of may have made their world a little bit more isolated because
Right.
now people who were at least able to come and drop by, they're no longer able to come out either. So our CEO, Dr. Beach, really wanted to make sure that they did not, basically fall to the side and nobody was aware. So he asked my director, Fatima Perkins, to start a telecare program. So that is kind of like where it all began.
Mhm.
So as you know, I was not on the team at that time, but our team members, Crystal Willis, Christine Terry, was very boots on the ground in making those daily calls to those people who were in our telecare program. And
Mhm.
so it was just very important for them to have that connection to let them know, that somebody is concerned about them. And, we were able to, sorry, we were able to, like, if they needed resources for food, needed figure out transportation to still get to their doctor's appointments, we were able to provide that for them.
Fantastic. Just remarkable, remarkable work that you all do. The more I hear it, the more I'm just very touched by how much you all do. Um, and in that, I guess just in terms of the response time,
Mhm.
has this helped improve your response time or allowed you to reach more individuals on a daily basis?
I really think it has allowed us to reach more individual on a daily basis. I'm not
Mhm.
sure if you're aware, but for the state of Ohio, they had a daily wellness call that was going out to, all the consumers around the state. That particular program got sunset at the beginning of the year. So
Hmm.
those consumers also trickle to their local AAAs to continue with that particular service. So, we had more to get added to our telecare program.
Hmm.
So being able to automate using the workflow has definitely gave us the availability to be open to more consumers.
Absolutely. And I would say that you're the first client to use workflows. Like th this was pre it being available to front end users. We were basically just developing on the back end system, but I think workflows came from you all basically. So even though the workflows was set up on the background, your team uses it every day. And has it
Yep.
changed your thoughts about technology or automations in work, your daily lives?
It hasn't changed my thought about technology. Technology is the future, is how we moving
Yes.
forward. But it definitely has opened me up to knowing more about automation and how that can basically save us time. Because before, like I said, somebody was making these calls. So you're talking about 2 to 3 hours out of your workday making
Mhm.
wellness check call, and sometimes depending on what's going on with the consumer, it can lengthen that time. To now, we're down to 10, at most 20 minutes a day because we are now calling the people who are saying they have needs
Right.
versus having
Specifically
exactly
focused.
hmm
Hmm.
versus calling everyone for them to just say, "Hey, I'm doing great today. Okay, talk to you later."
Even though I'm sure those calls are just as nice to get.
Yeah,
But
those calls still get made, but not daily.
yes.
They then can pick if they want to have a weekly, monthly, or quarterly call. Which
Hmm.
would,
Oh,
we actually call them, "Hey, how you doing, Mr. John today?" But as far as the daily, it cut down on us not having to call them every day just for them to say that they're okay.
yeah, absolutely. And you were talking about the time. I just want to break this down to like we're talking about 10 to 15 hours a week here, really, of
Mhm.
removing phone calls and being able to do additional work that you're already doing boots on the ground and refocus to the things that actually make the most sense to focus on and
Exactly.
removing that focus off of logistical things that need to happen in the process.
Correct. Correct.
And are there areas where you can imagine using workflows, like other areas in the industry or within your role?
We use workflow in a couple of other areas. So like I say, we have this wonderful telecare program. One of our pieces of our telecare program is that we have a hybrid book club called the Novel Players. And so we meet in person and online. Well, they have to register for this. So now we use workflow for them to call. And so they can either indicate if they are going to come in person, meet virtually, or not at all. And so we're able to get that information, and the team is able to be prepared for the participants. So because we provide lunch for those who come in person, and then we also provide the next book for those who attend. So in
Mhm.
order, make sure we have all those things covered, we use their registration that they from the workflow.
It's amazing. And I just want to highlight this because this feels really important. Did we say novel players? Is this
The
the name of
novel
the book club?
players. That's
That's amazing. Sign me up, honestly. I would love to be a novel player.
that was a whole part of one of our meetings, like what the name was going to be, because just can't say book club.
No, 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 no. Book club's too simple, too basic. We can't do
Right.
that. Well, we have this now front facing for our clients, which is very exciting. So clients will be able to go on their back end and kind of just make workflows as it makes the most sense to them and what's most applicable to them. So
hmm
making it even easier for them to map out their actions. So what advice would you give other organizations who might be worried about this kind of automation being too complex or maybe not worth their time on the front end spent? Because we do need to build the workflows. But I wonder if you can give any advice about automations and its complexity and is it worth it?
so the automation, I guess, can be complex, but as a user, for us, it really isn't, because most of the stuff is done behind the scene. My advice I would give to somebody who's considering it is to do it. The most time spent of getting your workflow is at the beginning, working out the kinks, making sure that the flow of going to the consumers and the response that comes back to you is the way that you would like it to be. Making sure that your consumers understand that what the questions would be and how they should respond, and that they will be receiving these calls. So once that is done and you have the workflow set up the way you want it, getting the desired outcome, then it's kind of like hands off. And if by chance something does come up, um, you will be given a customer care representative. Ours is Ed, and he's wonderful. You know, don't try to overload him, but
Big
you will
shout
get
outs
your
to Ed.
own. And normally stuff is handled in a very timely manner.
I like to think that we get back to customers very quickly.
I
Our
agree.
turnaround time is very quick.
I agree.
Um, and while we're here, big shout out to Ed. He's in the chat. Everyone say hi to Ed. He's amazing.
Hi,
He he is the lead of our team and he is fantastic.
Ed.
Well, this is towards the end of our kind of discussion before we kind of open things up, which I'm very excited to hear more of, and just to get to
Okay.
look in the chat a little bit. But what's next for you and your team, and any exciting goals or events coming up, new projects on the horizon?
Well, as you hear, my team is always out and about. So I'll just kind of highlight three upcoming things that community outreach is doing here at Western Reserve Area Agency on Aging that are open to the public. So first up is the novel players. So our hybrid book club, our next book club is going to be August the 19th. And for in person, we meet at East Cleveland Public Library, and virtually we meet on Zoom. Next up would be the 31st Annual Northeast Ohio Asian and Disability Summit. That will be held September 19th at Corporate College East. And the theme for this year is Building Brighter Tomorrow Through Livable Communities. And then lastly, Western Reserve also have an annual Health and Wellness Expo, and that's going to be October 23rd at Great Northern Mall.
Amazing. And you know what I'll do is I'll have Marina, when she is setting this up, to be posted onto LinkedIn. So this is being a recorded session. So if you'd like to rewatch this, share this with other people that you think this would be useful for them. We'll also add in some of those links maybe for those events that are coming up so
Yeah,
people can find out more.
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, let's do
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, registration is open for the summit.
Amazing. So for some folks that may not have the time to stick around, may want to leave, I want to also mention that Blooming Health Day in Ohio is on August 14th. Blooming Day is coming to Cleveland. We're excited. We're doing a half-day event for healthcare, for social care, and government leaders across Ohio to align around state's most pressing community needs. So just scan this QR code, take out your phone, scan that real quick to register and to get more details. For those of you not in Ohio, just know Blooming Day is hitting the road. We will be in multiple states. So let us know in the comments if you'd be interested in attending or participating in Blooming Day in your state. So just making sure to use that chat because we will consider that highly for our next Blooming Days. So we are going to open the floor up now for any questions. I'm going to start looking in the chat bot here, but we're really looking to speak on any questions you may have for Dr. Carpenter and how she uses workflows, maybe specific questions about use cases you'd like to see for workflows. There's also so many ways to use the workflow feature. So I'm going to rattle off while we're just kind of waiting around here some really great and useful ways. We've got automations for welcome messages. So for new members that join your community, you can send a welcome message immediately without even needing to think about it. It'll just automate and send for you, welcoming them to the center, expectations, updates they may receive from you. You can ask your community assessment-based questions for resources available. So are you eligible for certain resources, and then create actions based off of that. You can also send referrals. That's a really big one for us right now, is being able to attach you to those third parties. So we can send that information automatically for you. If someone were to complete a survey, we have analyzed the information and assessed that they are food insecure. we can send them a referral to a food bank that's close by within their zip code, which is amazing, just eliminating so many phone calls in the in between there. So I'm taking a look at this chat and let's just see what we've got going on. Oh, so many great things going on in here. The way it is, have you encountered not giving? Okay, what's the backup if there's no cell service or consumer has financial challenges in terms of phone service? Something. Okay, that's an interesting question. If there is no phone service, our system knows that it didn't receive those kind of messaging, but we do have a really great feature called a rerun. So specific for surveys, if a user did not complete the survey the first time, they will get a nudge to try and complete it the next day. That being said, it doesn't really affect whether or not, if they have a phone one day and maybe they have the ability to pay the phone the next day, that's all it's really addressing. So that's something that we do want to keep in mind and consider when we are setting these things up, that, we can't force a message to be sent, but we do give multiple opportunities just in case. So it's very possible that they weren't able to receive it one day, but they might be able to receive it another day. Let's see what other questions we have. What is your approach if someone expresses a need, food insecurity, transportation, isolation, and a daily check-in, but doesn't qualify for your programming? Do you redirect them to a service facilitated through Blooming Health, like a contact list or event sign up? So for that question, I would say that daily check-in does not qualify. So if they do not qualify for your programming, I think my best answer would be that we could probably at least get you that list of people that aren't qualified for that specific programming. And if you'd like to send them specific messages, like maybe those referrals to other programs they might be a part of. So we can make those actions, right? So for anyone who is eligible, they get redirected to the specific programs um, that that you'd like them to be a part of. And then the people that aren't eligible, you can at least refer them to someone else that may be able to assist them, other clinics, other triple A's, any other like facilities that might be able to assist them. So we can set that up for sure. Have you had any issues with people not completing surveys, thinking it is spam, even if you give them the heads up to look for the localized number? I think that's always, and that's a really good one. I wonder what you think about Dr. Carpenter about this, because this is going to be a concern, right? Not everyone may complete the survey, but what we've noticed, and just as a customer success team, is we set up our clients so then they are prepared to handle those situations. So first of all, sending broadcast messages is a big one. No matter what the message is, happy Memorial Day, okay? Any messages that you can be sending establishes that trust very early on. So then when they are receiving surveys, they feel more comfortable answering those surveys, especially right now. It's a very scary time for people to be giving their personal information around. I also encourage all of my clients in your surveys to write somewhere about information being saved. We're not going to be saving your information. We're not going to be sharing your information. So they feel a little bit more safe about that. And the last note, which is a really, really big note, is that your phone calls for voice call users will have a caller ID. So we can always set that up. So I think for Western Reserve, is it WR triple A or is it Western Reserve? Do you know WR triple A? So they
Well,
do
no, it comes out Western Reserve.
a Western Reserve, honestly,
Mhm.
even better. So it will show that caller ID for the voice call user. So they will see something that makes them feel a little bit better about receiving those phone calls. So I think we do a pretty good job about that. But Dr. Carpenter, do you have any thoughts?
Really like what you said, definitely making sure that the consumers who are going to be participating are aware because it does to them, they do feel like it's spam. So educating them, like she said, making sure you kind of do a few broadcasts before and even saying the broadcast, you will start receiving an upcoming survey or upcoming daily check-in on this date. Always leave a contact name and number where they can say, hey, I did hear this. I heard your name. Is this spam? That way you're kind of building that confidence and trust that it is coming from a legitimate agency. And that has helped because in now the first couple of months was a little
Mhm,
rocky getting
mhm,
them to understand
mm.
that is not spam and that they need to accept it. But
Yes, and
it pans out.
yes, and I think most of our clients are older adults, and I think that we underestimate how much they can retain technology really, as long as they're shown or given some sort of reassurance. So also in the onboarding process, we're very diligent about letting our clients know, like, hey, you need to post this everywhere, social media, your newsletters, speak about it in any of your meetings. Hey, there's going to be a new system. You're going to receive those calls and those text messages. Be aware that that's fine. That is from us. So as early on as you can be about speaking on blooming health is going to help you at the very end. So it's really about the process, because if we stick to these basic processes, we've seen very good response rates, and they even double when you just add that broadcast message. Honestly, just that one additional step can do so much. Again, due to federal cuts, some seniors disabled persons may have cell phone service challenges as alternative to text or emails sent to check-ins. That's a very good question, and it's something that we think about a lot here at Blooming Health. Right now, we have the service available for text and for voice calls. The reason for that is it's two different processes to send an email versus a text and a phone call. So we can do all three for broadcast messages. So you can send an email anytime you're sending a broadcast message. So we do have some workarounds. What you can do is you can send a broadcast message with a link to a survey, so maybe a Google Form survey of some sort, if you would like to send that to just your email users. Also, your customer success manager can take those answers and add them to the survey that you sent out with us for those text message and voice call users. This way, you're reaching people both ways. From my experience right now, and I know things have just started to change, so I think we're going to see a lot more changes there. But just out of my experience, there's not a lot of email users. Most users will get those voice calls. It's their preference when we've given them the choice. How many
And I,
participants
oh,
do you have?
I
Oh,
just
yeah,
wanted to
please.
add, so with that, for us, let's just say going back to the daily check-ins, and if somebody may have some type of phone issue, we do have everyone who participates in our daily check-in, we have an alternative number. So they have to have a friend or family member with their name, number, and they know that if this person has not responded, that they will receive a call. The issue is that mainly what I was saying before, a lot of these people are living alone. A lot of the contacts are people who are out of state. So again, we're still probably the closest to able to get to them or to send help to them the quickest.
Yeah, that's honestly a really excellent answer as well. How many participants do you have? I imagine that's the question of clients and not end users, because if it's end users, I don't even know. It's in the thousands for sure. There's probably a really awesome, pretty number out there that I don't know, but there's so many end users. When it comes to clients, the last time that I've seen the client list, we were a little above 100, which is a really great number. We've got so many people in New York, but we've also branched out to so many other states. I've just gained a handful of really great Texas clients. We're still looking into Ohio. We're still looking into Chicago, LA. Like we're trying to get everywhere. So we've got a healthy amount of clients, a healthy amount of team members to support you. So if you are interested, just feel free to send us an email at support@gobloominghealth.com. We're happy to help and assist you and figure things out with you. We also offer a free trial. So if you'd like to test this out, see how it works for you, we have a great system with that. I think you'll see some real impact right away. Any other questions? Come to Buffalo, New York, please. I love it. I'd love to. Oh, how many participants in Western Reserve AAA?
Um, as far as our telecare program or just for the daily call in. For telecare, we have probably about 600. Um, and they are, and luckily because of the way Blooming Health, we have them by like organization. So, and I'm just gonna say this made up. So let's just say it's um, Lake Erie's Community Center, um, Martin's Baptist Church, and so that's how they're grouped with those particular participants. And then we're able to just click to say, this is going to them. As far as the daily check-ins, we have, I think, right at about 100 that do the daily check-ins. And we have listed them as like daily check. We have two groups for that. So daily check-in one, daily check-in two. And then again, it's just clicking to say that this is who's going to.
And amazing. That's a whole lot of people to have to consider. And imagine having to do those phone calls. I mean, you didn't have to do them because you weren't there, but I can't even imagine having to have to do all those phone
Right.
calls.
Christine and Krista was on it.
Let's see. Any other questions? Is there a way? Oh, no, that's not a question. Same, lots of the same questions there that we addressed. Oh, here comes a new one. Oh, amazing. Courtney's so happy to hear. Courtney was just saying that they've been considering Blooming Health for a new program, and this was very helpful. Super, super great to hear it. And if you want, I'm very happy to explore any specifics about programs. So how this could be helpful to you all very specifically for the program that you're supporting. I just want to double check and make sure we don't. I think we get all the questions. Let's back up. Lots of cell phone questions. Something based on responses. I
having
think.
that backup alternative is really helpful with the cell phones, because we do know that sometimes we are serving consumers who are in need and they may can't pay their cell phone bill or having cell phone challenges. So having that person to call just to make sure is very helpful.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think just speaking to that a little bit more because Marina's sending in, I think, one or two more questions that she found in the chat here. But just speaking to cell phone users and voice call users, just know that this is everything on Blooming Health is interchangeable, so nothing's really set in stone. So once you've added someone to the platform, we will run a report to find out if those phone numbers are either cell phone lines or landlines. If they are cell phone numbers, they will receive SMS, of course. If they're landlines, they'll receive voice calls. But if for some reason, two messages in, they start to find out that they're not interested in getting voice calls anymore, it bothers them to get it, they'd rather SMS or email if that's their preference, we can change that very quickly. It's very easy to do on the back end.
And they will let you know. So, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
when we
They
first
will.
started the daily check-in, people was like, I don't like that. Send me a text. So,
They'll
like I
tell you right
said,
away.
then I'll shoot it, add a little say, hey, Mary Long says she don't want the call. Switch her over.
All right, we've got another question here. Can workflows be triggered based on responses?
Yes, absolutely. That is our primary usage of these. So surveys wants a specific answer or multiple questions to an answer, right? So we could do question 1, 2, and 3. If they say no to all three of these questions, then I would like a broadcast message to be sent. And or if they say yes to only question 1, I want them to be sent a broadcast message. I want them to be moved to a certain program. I want them to be assigned to a referral. There's so many different actions that can happen based off of multiple triggers, singular triggers. So the possibilities are endless. There's so much that could be done. And we could do multiple actions as well. So if you want to send a broadcast message to maybe a certain program, but you also want to send them resources in addition to that, we can send 2 different broadcasts. There's so many things that we can do.
That's great. And kind of piggybacking off of that, um, are these workflows able to detect unmet needs and trigger the next steps to get people care?
Oh, that's a really good question. Unmet needs, right? So we're sending out assessments, questionnaires, right? We're finding out information about these users. And what we find out is food insecurity, inability to um, transport themselves to receive medication. There's so many different things that we can find out. and being able to assess a list instead of you needing to go to the survey results section, assess throughout the questionnaire who's in real need and not. We will assess them by creating those triggers. So, based off of those specific answers, they have now been determined as food insecure or in need of transportation, and we will move them appropriately based on the automation. Very powerful.
That's great, and I got one last one here for you. Can Blooming Health work with other platforms? So I think they're asking, can it integrate with other existing platforms that we see used in the social care space?
Yeah, that's a really interesting one. We do have some API capabilities. They are very specific and very limiting just based off of those services and products that you use. So it's going to take a little bit of assessing of those products that you already currently use, but to update and keep up with those user lists are super easy. I'm sure Dr. Carpenter could agree with that. Like sending those over, we're pretty same day to next day getting those updates done. So while it may not be applicable to you to be able to create that integration, quote unquote, our system of being able to do that outside of that is very, very easy. Awesome. And I think there's one in the chat here. Scheduling options to call weekly versus daily. Can special messages or texts due to severe weather check-ins be sent? Scheduling options to call. Yes, you can. First of all, scheduling messages is my favorite. I tell all of my clients, schedule all your federal holidays. It'll take you 5 minutes to do. You'll never have to think about it again. So if your operations are closed for that day, you'll never have to worry about it again. Scheduling those messages are across the platform. You can schedule surveys, you can schedule broadcast messages. And in addition, those workflows, you can delay those messaging. So if you have that survey sent out, we've assessed need, we found the need based off of those people, we can delay it a day, 2 days, 3 days, however many days that you'd like. So essentially scheduling that next message, right? And can send special messages or text due to severe weather check-ins be sent? Absolutely. There's endless amount of questions. These are very customizable. We could send a broadcast message that alerts people about severe weathers. So for example, today in New York, I'm sure a bunch of New York people will be sending out a flood warning for today. For check-ins specifically, you can also send that, of course. So that could be a survey. That's what I think of there is how are you doing? Have you been affected by the weather? Do you need any assistance? Do you need food? Do you need a place to stay? How are things? Actually, one of our most impactful surveys to me was a survey that was sent out in a need during a flood that happened. And they sent out very personal questions that were, hey, do you have a place to stay? Do you need food? Do you need help? Do you need medical attention? So many great ways to use that survey function. Very creative space there.
And also they are you can it can be timed.
Mhm.
And so like say for our daily check-in, um they go out at 10, but the consumers have about 2 to 3 hours to respond. So it's not like, oh, I missed
Right.
it, so I missed my window. So, or let's just say they are late riser. So they didn't even wake up and see it till 11, 12 o'clock. So they still can respond. I don't look for a response to about 1:32. And then that's when I'm like, oh wow, I haven't heard from Miss Sally. And then I can check to see if there was a response or not.
I hope Miss Sally was okay.
They usually are. Oh, my daughter picked me up today. We went to the store.
Oh. Well, thank you again, Miss Dr. Carpenter and Marina for helping us host today. Thank you everyone for being here today. Again, this recorded session will be available on Blooming Health's LinkedIn if you would like to share. We're also going to link all those really great events that Dr. Carpenter was talking on, and we're also going to link more information about Blooming Day in Ohio. If you have any more questions, please feel free to email support@gobloominghealth.com. We're happy to help you with that. We hope to see you all soon and have a great day.